Hey everyone, this is Ulysses and I would like to welcome you to today's video. And once again, it is a very, very special video that I'm going to be putting up for all of you guys, my audience here today, because I'm bringing in someone that is going to give you so much value here today over the next 15 minutes. And his name is Luke Salway. He's actually from Australia and he has been spending a lot of his time, in fact, the past 15 years, all around Asia. And right now he's running his own training, consultancy and coaching company based out from Thailand. And he travels almost to, I don't know, like go to his Facebook and you'll see all his travel photos and his videos. All right. So obviously here is Luke. Luke, thank you for being here with us here today.
Hey Ulysses, great to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
My pleasure. All right, Luke, the two of us, our relationship in business go way back many years ago when we started to come together, and we actually work on marketing strategies to pull paying delegates into public programs and moving on into different kind of programs and into coaching programs, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of things we do, and I'm really happy that looking back at all the things that we have done over the past few years, we have achieved so much amazing results. And I think if I'm going to put a dollar value to the delegate sales, that's, I think, easily in the higher range of the 5-digit figures. But I think the more important thing that we actually managed to come up with is to really understand, the market structure in terms of attracting high caliber clients, to our respective programs. So, as you know, I serve a huge audience of trainers and coaches, both experienced and both new. So, Luke, I want to know from your perspective right now, both as a business owner, both as a full-time trainer, both also as a full-time coach, what is your perspective in terms of coaches and trainers to monetize their expertise in the market here today?
Well, I think it starts certainly in my personal experience, Ulysses, and also having worked with hundreds of other trainers and coaches where, I've certified coaches, whether it's life coach, executive coach, relationship coach, or working with practitioners and trainers as well. And of course, business owners who are starting their coaching or training business from zero. I think one of the fundamental things that they really need to do in the beginning, and maybe this sounds like really obvious, but I think a lot of new coaches miss this and a lot of new trainers miss this. And that is to simply get as much experience as possible in as many different market segments as possible. You see, what happens is when we're starting this journey, and a lot of coaches and a lot of trainers, I'm sure you can resonate with this, we want to give, right? We want to help people grow to the next level, whatever that is. So we think we have an idea of how we can serve or add the most value, okay? And that's great. And what I've noticed in reality is that sometimes where we initially think we want to go, once we've had those experiences, we might find that our trajectory or our path might change slightly. So, for example, I think the easiest way is to share my own, personal story.
Yeah.
And let's look at each different kind of pathway, the path of the coach and the path of the trainer.
Right.
So when I started coaching, I thought, life coaching will be cool. I really want to help people to be happy and have, loving relationships and help students get, really cool grades and all of that kind of stuff. And, I got the relevant training. I learned some NLP. I got certified as an ICF coach. And as I started to practice my coaching, I really just coached as much as I could. Free sessions, low-cost sessions, paid sessions, whatever I could get. And the more I coached, well, sometimes I got good results and sometimes I got some learnings, shall we say.
Yeah.
And through that process, not only did I have those learnings and to have that growth, I began to get really, really clear on what style of coaching I like to do. And I guess what style of coaching I didn't resonate with so much, right? Now, as a business owner, you know, doing multiple things, doing coaching, doing training, and growing the business, serving our clients, for me personally, I found the life coaching to be a little bit heavy, right? Meaning that as I was helping people with the challenges that they had, you know, being a little bit of an empath, I couldn't help but hang on to that. Even though we know in coaching we shouldn't do that, I just found a really strong connection with these people, and I would, you know, think about them before, after, and during the session. So as I got as much experience as I could, trying all these different kind of forms of coaching, the one that resonated the most with me was business coaching.
Right.
You know, I remember one of my mentors said many, many years ago, a totally different industry. This was in the hospitality industry. And he would say to me, Luke, hotels, it's a fun game to play.
Right.
Now, I've kind of taken that on personally when I think of just about business. Business can be a fun game to play. And, you know, it's an exciting game to play as we start to increase revenues, as we start to work with strategic partnerships, as we, you know, support each other to grow and to grow. This is a fun game for me to play. So on the coaching side, I personally have resonated more towards, you know, business coaching and executive coaching. And that's what brings me the most joy. And where I feel that I can add the most value and therefore get the most results. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to then add on to that on the training side, right? Like, again, if you're a trainer or you're aspiring to be one, you've just got to get some experience in the early days, right? So that's going to wherever you can basically get in front of an audience. And trust me, I've delivered sessions everywhere. I've delivered them in church. I've delivered them in schools, at Rotary clubs, at Toastmaster events, networking events, you name it. Anywhere that I can get in front of an audience is a good thing. Why? Because you develop your own skills as a trainer, as an influencer. You get the opportunity to get feedback from your audience. And trust me, when you have an audience looking with very blank faces like this, well, then you need to do something different with your training. And of course, it can depend on the audience. I've had some real tough audiences in the past. And I've had some audiences that have been like peak state 15 out of 10 even before walking into the room. So as a trainer, your job is how to connect with that audience to achieve the outcome that they want to achieve. And again, one of the best ways to do that is to simply get experience. And, you know, in addition to the experience, it's continually adding more tools and techniques into your toolbox. As a trainer and as a coach, you must continue your journey of personal and professional development. Just 6 short weeks ago, I was in Australia attending Date with Destiny for the world's #1 trainer, Tony Robbins. This week, I've just applied for my PCC credential at ICF. I'm just anxiously waiting for the good news to hear back from them. You know, so me and my team here at Coachology, we're continually developing ourselves as coaches and trainers. And we still, like, one of my favorite things to do is when a client, particularly if it's a corporate client, they say, hey, Luke, we kind of want ABC, can you do it? Now, if I have not had experience in that area, often 95% of the time I'll say, yeah, sure, I can do that. And then I will go and find out how to do it and then deliver that training. Unless it's really way outside of my scope or it's just not interesting for me, then of course I'll reach out to colleagues such as yourself, Ulysses, and then find out where we can find that win-win and kind of share the love, as it were.
Right. So that is one of the things that a lot of trainers and a lot of coaches, in fact, we see a lot of experienced trainers and coaches, they kind of go either one of two ways. They kind of like, one is too specialized, where they are too specific on a specific niche that they don't really want to do anything, either because they feel that they don't have the expertise, or probably they just don't bother to market out of that expertise that they have, or either they are in a way that in that path that they are too generalized, is that they tend to do anything and everything. So can you do team building? Yes, I can. Can you do corporate communications? Yes, I can. Can you do personal development? Definitely. They can do almost everything until they become like a convenience store. And we know that, where people are spending, $15,000, $30,000, $75,000 on trainings, especially for huge corporate companies. They don't really like to look for generalists. They like to look for specialists. However, with that being said, the technical areas of all trainers and coaches is one part where I agree with you definitely that they need to have all the technical skills, the tools, and methodologies in place, because that's what is going to deliver the value to the clients at the end of the day. However, before that can actually be put into work to earn them the love, as what we call it, what do you think are the, just one, if you could name one of the most or the biggest issue that trainers and coaches face in terms of monetizing their knowledge and expertise? There's so many trainers and coaches that are sitting at home trying to do some Facebook today, trying to post some articles on LinkedIn tomorrow, and trying to, just basically spam the whole social media and looking for business. So one thing that you think that they are doing all wrong at this point of time?
Well, I still have a lot to learn in the whole digital marketing space at the moment. So I'll share from my dinosaur perspective. And it's very, very simple in my experience. It's get results for your clients. Now, while it would be nice to kind of sit back and just wait for the money to come in and just sit back and count money, and this links back into what I mentioned before, it's getting some experience, right? Being a good marketer and understanding the whole digital process, of course there's value in that. Yeah. And if you go out there and, like, say you've got a big funnel of a whole bunch of clients and you got them lined up, but you can't service those clients, you can't get results for them, or you just deliver an average kind of performance, guess what? They're not going to call you back. So it might seem like a win in the early days. If you can't sustain that, then your business is going to be in trouble. So, I mean, for me, it's a simple 3-step process. And again, this is about getting results. Right. Number one, as a trainer or a coach, you've got to be in a peak state, right? So you've got to find a way to turn on your energy to a 10 out of 10. So when you're meeting a client, whether they're a corporate client or a one-on-one or whatever, you've got to be totally present, and you've got to be like right here, right now. That's what I mean by peak state. It doesn't have to be rah-rah. Whatever it takes for you to get into a peak state. For some, it's an incantation. For some, it's meditation. Whatever works for you, get into that present state. Yeah. Number two, you've got to be able to build rapport, right? Whether it's a group rapport with an audience or whether it's a rapport one-on-one person. Now, as a coach, every single client who walks through your door are going to be different. So it's up to you to be flexible in your communication style, and it's up to you to be able to connect with, as a human being, as an individual. You must learn the skills to be able to connect with that person or those group of people.
Right.
And the third step, step 1 and 2 is the prerequisite for you got to get results.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is, if you're starting out, for those that are listening who are just starting out, or you have a couple of clients or some trainings or coaching coming up, do whatever it takes to get the result. And if that means you need to add on a couple of extra hours, if that means you need to do, think above and beyond, add massive, massive value. Yeah. Because the quickest way to double and triple your business is to have those same clients who you served initially come back for more and more and more. This is how you scale up your business. Plus, if you're adding on all the marketing resources and technology that's out there, well, that's how you're going to 10x your business. But you can't sustain that unless you're able to get results for your clients. because not only will they come back again and again, but they're going to tell their colleagues, their friends, their family that, wow, I just had this awesome experience with this trainer. Oh my God, she was so awesome, so much energy, so much passion, so much content, so much value. Please do yourself a favor, contact him or her and take your life or your business to the next level. That's what it's all about. But that's the starting point, right? And we have to put that energy in to get those results, doing whatever it takes.
Right. So at the end of the day, if you are listening to this right now, watching this video, whether you are going to be in a coach or a trainer in different kind of niche, whether it's going to be in health and fitness, whether it's going to be in personal development, whether you are a corporate trainer, the real fundamental thing is that you got to deliver what your clients are paying you for. If you are a cook, for example, you need to cook and deliver the dishes. If you are a painter, you need to paint. That's the thing that you are selling to. So that result's got to be delivered to your customers at the end of the day. And I want to add on to something that Luke had just said, which is so critical that I personally believe is in the form of social proof. And by delivering results for your clients, whether is it going to be one person for a start, or whether is it going to be 5 people in your first training program, once you have results for them, guess what? They are going to give you testimonials, and they're going to give you that social proof, which not only allows you to build further business with them, but also people who are out of the entire circle that you are serving, which means that you are able to right now bring these testimonials, reviews, or social proof, whichever you call it, and bring it out to the audience that you have never been in contact before, to let them know that, hey, I'm so-and-so, I specialize in this area, and these are my results. Because people at the end of the day, they buy based on what you can deliver. And the only best way, and to be honest, it's not the brochure that you have, it's not the beautiful outline that you can write out in your leaflets. It's really what your customers are saying about you, real paying customers are saying about you. All right, so that is really so critical that you can bring this to, and continue to build from there. I think that is what a lot of new coaches and trainers, they fail to do, is that they want to go out there and be the next Tony Robbins tomorrow, and thinking, how am I going to gather a group of 13,000 people, in a seminar, but they fail to realize that how powerful it is to get that one customer and then build onto 5 customers and use that 5 testimonials or social media onto the 10, 30, so on and so forth. And that is really interesting. And that is something that's really unique about what Luke and me have in common over here, that I want to bring it out. This was not in the agenda, Luke, but I thought I want to spontaneously bring it out. Is that both of us have traveled quite extensively to deliver programs, trainings, to corporate clients or to individual clients in many different countries. What is one golden nugget that you want to leave with my audience here today, watching you? What is one golden nugget that you can give it to them in terms of positioning themselves out of their local market?
How to position them. Well, okay, as you were sharing just a moment ago, and this is whether it's their local market or outside of the local market, it comes to building relationships and trust, right? And again, it comes back to getting those results, getting some social proof, and just the 2 little nuggets that people just leave on the floor time and time again is follow up, right? So I know many of your audience are very digital savvy. They've got LinkedIn profiles and Facebook and Instagram, and they might be having some leads coming in. You must respond as quickly as possible, and you must continue to follow up, right? Now, it's not to be annoying, right? It's simply because people get busy these days.
That's right.
If you're working, and let me share an example here for you, a real life situation. I had a request from the Maldives. Right now, for a trainer to do training in the Maldives is like a dream come true. I'd never been to the Maldives. I never knew what was going on over there. Anyway, this gentleman and I had a conversation for over 1 year. As you know, he got busy and then he wasn't able to, and then they got busy again and he wasn't able to. And then I would just gently, friendly, follow up once a month. Hey man, how's it going over there? What's going on? Eventually he said, hey Luke, I've got dates. Are you available for this date? I said, yes, absolutely. So what happened was I maintained the rapport. From his initial inquiry, I responded within 30 minutes, number one. Number two, I just maintained the rapport, and I follow up and I follow up and I follow up, because only one of two things can happen. They say thanks but no thanks, or eventually they say yes, and either way is okay. If they say thanks but no thanks, well then you focus on your next prospect or your next lead. Right. So it was the most awesome training we ever did. It was a 2-day leadership training, followed on by half a day of sales training in these overwater villas in the Maldives. Yeah. Part of the package was an extra 3 nights of hanging out on the white sandy beaches, drinking cocktails out of a coconut. So, you know, whichever strategy people are using to get their leads, please do yourself a favor. And you do your client a favor, right? Instant response as quick as you can, and build the rapport, maintain the rapport, and follow up, follow up, follow up. That's how I have got my leads from international, including, in addition to the Maldives, China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Myanmar, Malaysia, Singapore, you know, you name it, Dubai. I didn't know any business contacts over there, but when people do reach out, nurture that relationship. And that's what I found works very, very well for me. And I've not seen so many coaches or trainers that are really good at doing that.
Absolutely. That's right. I think the follow-up key is really where the money is in terms of any form of selling. I think the follow-up part is where the real money is. It's really never at the first instance. You close a certain percentage at the first point of contact, but most of the money always happens at the follow-up stages. And don't even be frustrated when the first contract we have with this particular client is closed like 1 year or 2 years or even 3 years later. Yeah, right. But this is how the whole game is being played. A long-term game. So
correct.
There are 2 things that I really want to draw to my audience right now in this session. Is getting a little bit dark on my side over here. So I want to drop out 2 things. So in addition to what Luke is mentioning about positioning yourself overseas, is that first of all, you are going to be putting so much effort in terms of marketing yourself. So I always advocate the fact that always spend the same amount of effort that you are already marketing yourself anyway to the overseas market, because there's only 2 things that can happen to you really, only 2 good things, and either one, they are both good. First is that if you are going to position yourself overseas, guess what? You are a foreign trainer in the overseas market, so your charges are going to be a foreign rate. It's always the case. That's the first thing that's really going to be good that's out from this thing. And the second thing is that if you're able to do any form of work, it doesn't really matter whether you are doing in any countries. Guess what that happens when you come back to wherever you are originally from? You are 1%. You are in the 1% of the entire local training and coaching community that has done overseas work. Let's face it. Out of 100 coaches or trainers that I have in my database, in my contacts list personally, I can only find 1% out of 100 that has done any form of overseas work. We know that. So once you are able to have that experience and be back to your local area, you are automatically being positioned as an international trainer or coach with international experience. So since you're already going to be spending your time to market yourself, my advice to all new trainers or coaches, or even experienced trainers or coaches, if you're struggling with your local market, put that effort, pick the country that you're most familiar with, and put your focus, your marketing focus over there, and you will see lots of things that's going to be happening to you in your business. All right.
Yep.
So once again, I think Luke has given a lot of value to everyone here today, and personally, I've learned one or two things from you today as well. And I appreciate your time, Luke. So Luke owns a training, consulting, and also a coaching company, and I'm going to drop his link, either above or below this video. And if you need to have any form of conversation with Luke, that is the website that you can reach out to him. And on behalf of my audience, Luke, I want to thank you for your valuable time today, for dropping all the golden nuggets.
Thank you, Ulysses. It's been a pleasure. Great to connect with you again. Big thanks to the audience. Yeah, please, guys, if you have any questions about coaching or training, I'd love to help. So just reach out if you feel I can support you in some way. And thanks again, Ulysses.
My pleasure. All right, I'll see everyone again soon.